An under-pressure Prime Minister has snapped while being grilled about plans to change negative gearing and capital gains tax. After facing scrutiny all day, Albanese this afternoon lost his cool in a heated interview. He admitted he had no idea whether his treasurer had requested modelling on changes to the controversial tax policies. Here he was on ABC Radio with Richard Glover this afternoon.
The department, like all departments, look at various things at various times. So is this government policy or government request to examine potential policy announcement? No, it's not.
But it's a fair question to ask you whether you or your treasurer has requested this study.
Sure, and I've answered that.
You've answered it for yourself, but not for the treasurer.
Well, I'm not the treasurer.
But you must have said to, hey, Jim, did you ask them to do this?
No, not at all.
So sorry, you don't know whether your treasurer has asked them to do this work or not?
Well, I don't know because I'm not the treasurer, and the treasurer is on his way to China as we speak.
So he doesn't know whether his own government is re-examining negative gearing policy. That was a train wreck interview, and that is what a Prime Minister under pressure looks like. And he's certainly feeling the heat.
And rightly so.
Along with bad polls, there are now even calls within Labor for his removal as PM.
My mother dreamt of a better life for me, and I hope that my journey in life inspires
his removal as PM.
Vote One Nation.
Negative gearing and real estate investment taxes. Would you and One Nation be brokering any changes there?
No, not at all. Most of the investments comes from those mums and dads who are police nurses or those tradies that actually go and put investment. If we took them out of the market, we wouldn't have the investment properties there. Also, if an Albanese wants to do something about it, cut back on immigration and stop foreign ownership of our housing in Australia, that would address the matter and take off the GST off the building of houses, which about 40 to 45% of new houses is GST.
Spot on, Pauline. You nailed all the key points in about 30 seconds.
But you noticed that Anthony Albanese couldn't answer the question. He's no leader. He absolutely disgusts me.
Well, with concern growing about Albanese's ability to lead the country, it's likely we're going to see more of his temper, more of him losing his cool over the next few months ahead of the election. The Prime Minister is frustrated that pesky journalists keep asking questions about tax policy, questions that are clearly in the public interest, questions that are legitimate given Labor's flip-flopping on policies like negative gearing over the years. The reality is Labor is obsessed with class warfare and as such has always despised negative gearing. Ahead of the 2019 election, Labor promised to scrap it.
We've had enough of Labor. Anthony Albanese cannot even run a chook raffle. Labor needs to go. And I fear for this country, if we have another round of Labor after the next election, I don't believe there's going to be any chance of pulling this country back out of the demise it's going to be in.
And Albanese mounted the case himself as well, saying that scrapping negative gearing was a priority, his word, priority, you'll hear it in a minute, and the right thing to do. Here he was, making those remarks on both the Today Show and on Sky News ahead of the 2019 election.
Our priority will be
telling friggin' lies.
Of doing something about housing affordability, for example, in terms of changes that we would make to negative gearing and to capital gains in terms of those concessions. That's pretty brave for an opposition to do, but it's the right thing to do.
That election was considered unlosable for Bill Shorten. Yet lose it he did, thanks to voters roundly rejecting tax changes like on capital gains and negative gearing.
We make our own decisions, and we will continue to do that. It's an example that this government just isn't up to it, and we need a better government.
What an absolute joke he is. Anthony Albanese is the worst Prime Minister we have ever had. He is weak, he is gutless, and I hope that people throw him out at the next election.